Hey folks, Brian Blessing in Las Vegas. Glad to be with you here at bangthebook.com. Always fun to start talking about football, the NFL, preseason football, and a real opportunity in some weeks to find some chinks in the armor. And it's all about information on both sides of the counter. The odds makers trying to figure out who's going to play, what the quarterback rotation is, and the players are basically in the same boat. The other thing you got to really pay attention to here when you're playing these games, if you're laying 2.5, in an NFL game in the preseason, and you're sitting there and at the end of the game, you flat out want to cry when with about a minute and a half to go, team scores, they go up 2, and of course in the regular season they'd kick the extra point, but not in preseason. They're going to go for 2. Coaches don't want the game to go to overtime. So the key thing you got to know here in the preseason is key numbers. 3 and 7 are just not key numbers. So that factors into it. In many respects, totals should be the way to go when you get into the preseason. And again, it all comes back down to the quarterback rotation. Finding those opportunities, you want to look and find teams that conceivably have a quarterback battle going on, who's actually going to be the starter, or a real defined battle for guys to be the backup, which means they're going to evaluate the quarterbacks, they're going to let them throw the football, and then to that end, to give them a true opportunity to show what they could bring to the table, they're going to leave the first and second string offensive line in to let these guys show their wares, not really get down so much, into the dregs, the guys that are going to be cut. So much information is critical. Coaches, guys that like to win. The other thing, Denver maybe saw the game opened up pick for the Hall of Fame game. That number went up to 2.5. How it plays out remains to be seen. But when a new coach comes in like Fangio, many of these guys are looking to change a culture. So winning is more important to new head coaches. That seems to be a rule of thumb. We know John Harbaugh, in Baltimore, is always a guy in the preseason that likes to win football games. So it's all about dissecting the information, the quarterback rotation, and then who can you trust when it comes to getting that information from the coaches. And then the other thing is the buyer beware mentality. Don't forget, it's been a few years now. Belichick set the preseason world upside down, where he's actually done the dress rehearsal instead of week 3. He's done it in week 2. So you have to do your homework. It's buyer beware. There's a lot of guessing that's involved. But if you do your homework, you get good information. You might be able to find some chinks in the armor, specifically when it comes to totals. Because even in a game where you're thinking they're going to keep it real vanilla, don't forget, tackling is just not that good. There'll be special teams breakdowns. You can get punt returns, kick returns, and, of course, fumbles and interceptions for touchdowns. So there's a lot of gray areas, a lot of buyer beware. Don't forget, key numbers are not key numbers in the preseason. It's just fun talking about football again. And Adam Burke, we'll be doing that a lot for you when the fall gets here with the Sports Betting Podcast. You can follow me at Brian Blessing. As always, we're glad you're joining us right here at bangthebook.com.